All right, so today I am joined by acclaimed singer and cabaret artist Jeff Harnar. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Hi, Denny.
So, Jeff, congratulations on the release of your new album, Jeff Harnar Sings Sammy Cahn, the second time around.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about this project?
Well, it actually has kind of an interesting story from my point of view. The album came out 24 years ago.
Mhm.
And at that time, Alex Rybeck, my music director of 41 years, can you believe it?
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's amazing. So we did the show 25 years ago, and we called it Sammy Cahn All the Way, directed by Barry Kleinborg. And Alex and I raised the funds to go in and self-produce the album 24 years ago. And we found a label called Jerome Records
Mhm.
to release it 24 years ago. And it came out, and then Jerome Records went out of business the same
Of
year.
course.
So the album has been out of print for 24 years. And so I went to PS Classics and said, could we re-release it? I would just like it to be available on streaming platforms. And Tommy Krasker, God bless him, said, well, maybe there's an opportunity here to revisit this.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, his engineer slash producer, Bart McGall, we had no masters. There's nothing. It's gone.
Mhm.
And Bart McGall said the technology has just become available for us to take a CD and extrapolate and remaster and actually, do some fixing. So he said we can not only re-release it, we can remaster it. And Tommy said, how about adding new recordings? So what we have done is added 6 new tracks, which include 3 duets with Grammy nominee Clint Holmes and this year's Grammy winner Nicole Zuraitis, and then this vocal group of triplets from Kenya, MOIPEI.
Mhm.
And so it has become a new album, even though and I've taken the opportunity to go in and change some pronouns
Okay.
because I have a little more courage than I did 25 years ago to record.
Mhm.
So, for instance, the song I'll Only Miss Her When I Think of Her has become I'll Only Miss
Yeah.
Him
Mhm.
When I Think of Him. And that one's not just fixing pronouns, that one's an entirely new arrangement
Okay.
because with the courage of being able to sing my truth, the song comes out of me differently.
Mhm. Mhm.
25 years ago, I recorded it pretty much the way you would hear it on the cast album of
Yeah.
Skyscraper, just very straightforward.
Or, mhm.
But now it means something profoundly deeper to me.
Mhm, for sure,
So,
definitely. So, what made you initially when you did this whole tribute to Sammy Cahn in 2001? Why did you want to celebrate this legendary lyricist?
well, I'm always latching onto lyricists because as a cabaret performer, the lyrics are, in the spotlight. They
Yeah.
are my script. And Sammy Cahn, it was an education for me. I had been told by people you should do a Sammy Cahn show, and I really didn't grasp the expanse of his catalog. So he had 30 Academy Award nominations. That's more, no one will ever match that. And he
Hmm.
won 4 Oscars, which is a hard record to match. All right there. He won an Emmy for the song Love and Marriage. He wrote Broadway shows. He put more words into Frank Sinatra's mouth than
Mm.
any other songwriter. And I think those are the words that create the Rat Pack swagger.
Yeah.
So, when we think of the Rat Pack, we're really thinking a lot of Jimmy Van Heusen and Sammy Cahn
Hmm.
lyrics. And then, of course, the World War II songs. I think, I love when songs can be a time capsule and
Okay.
give us a sample of, what you can read about World War II in a history book, but those songs actually take you into the heart of America and England at war.
Hmm.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful um, emotional barometers of the country of war.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so needless to say, just looking at the lyrics, I found ample ammunition, and I'm also looking for humor.
Hmm.
When I'm performing, I need wit, I need humor, and he just was, irascible. He has a lot of
Hmm.
great humor.
Yeah, for sure. So, what number album is this?
Well, David Kenny at WBAI Radio thinks it's number 8. He
Number
wrote our
eight.
liner notes and he calls it number 8. So
Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay, number
Um,
eight.
I don't quite think it's that, but he's counting ones that, anyway, so 8, I
Eight.
guess.
Okay, so we'll go with eight. Yes. Then, how would you say you are constantly evolving as a recording artist?
Well, there are a lot of things going on. First of all, as a cabaret performer,
Hmm.
I believe that we have more to bring to the party the older we get.
Okay.
It's one art form where I think age is actually to my advantage or to anyone's advantage, really, because when I go to see a cabaret performer, I want to hear someone who's going to be kind of an oracle for me, who's going to help me understand life, take my heart where it needs to go. And so going to hear a young person who's maybe a little more callow, as I was 25 years ago, or 41 years ago when I started working with Alex, I just, I think there's an evolution there that's great as a human being, as a human soul on this planet. I have more colors to tap in
Hmm.
my rainbow. There's also a change vocally. Um, you know, um, uh, it, I One of my biggest concerns with our wonderful Bart McGall engineer was, I don't want people to be thinking, oh, he's young here, oh, he's old here, as they're
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
to this album. We wanted it to be of an experience. So, but yeah, there's some tread marks on my vocal palette, but hopefully that adds texture.
Oh, definitely, for sure. So, how has this album been received by listeners so far?
So far, it's very exciting.
Mhm.
It's just been out a couple weeks, but I'm getting notifications from several radio stations that it's getting airplay, and we just had some great, sold out concerts at 54 Below, and we're
Nice.
taking the show to London next, and then we're bringing the show back in October to New York City to Birdland. So I'm
Okay.
very excited to bring this show to that jazz room because I do think there's a great jazz flavor to
Mhm.
Alex's arrangements and what we're
Oh,
doing.
definitely, definitely. Do you have other tour dates announced yet? Because I know you're going to be in Boca Raton. Is that correct?
That's true. In early 2025, we'll be down in Florida at the Boca JCC. No, that's as far as those dates go right now.
Okay.
Alex and I have been mixing it up. We've also just last weekend we're doing Cole Porter,
Okay.
so it's not all Sammy Cahn all the time, but
Mhm. A little mix of
it's not
everything.
a little mix of everything. But we'll get more dates for the
Okay.
Sammy Cahn album. Want to
Cool. Cool.
want to get to Blue Strawberry in your neighborhood,
Hmm.
St. Louis, and
Yes.
hopefully get out to Chicago with it and LA and Palm Springs.
Mhm. Perfect. Well, is there anything you ultimately hope listeners take away from this album right now?
Well, I hope, like me, people may come to it not knowing exactly who Sammy Cahn was,
Hmm.
um, and be as delighted and surprised and feel as smart as I did because my barometer when my mom was alive was my mom. I would say, I'm thinking of doing a Sammy Cahn show. And she'd say, who's that? And I'd say, all the way, teach me tonight, come fly with me. Ain't that a kick in the head? Time after time. Saturday night's the loneliest night of the week. And she'd be like, oh, I know all those songs. So I think most listeners will be delighted to realize how much of his material they know.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I'm hoping people hear the songs in a new way. I think Alex's arrangements are brilliant. I can say that. Maybe he wouldn't say it, but I can. I don't think you'll hear Teach Me Tonight done that way. You certainly won't hear MOIPEI. They joined me, these three girls from Kenya joined me on By Mir Bist Shane.
Mhm.
And that's, you know, so that song, Sammy Khan has it in Yiddish and in English, and now we've added Swahili.
There you
So
go.
it's very exciting. And also on the album, to have Clint Holmes jazz up, come dance with me, and I like to lead when I dance. And that's a very fun arrangement for me, just with the LGBTQ slant. I would never 25 years ago
Hmm.
have recorded that, but as soon as we were going to add new songs, I thought, well, I want to do a Rat Pack song and take two Rat Pack songs but have them sing them to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've heard Frank and Dean sing them, but I've never heard them sing them to each other. And
That,
Clint, to his credit, he's happily married to a beautiful wife, talented wife Kelly, but he was like, yeah, let's do it. He was totally on board.
good.
And same with Nicole Zuraitis, to have a real jazz virtuoso Take Flight in Come Fly With Me with her scat singing. I think that's quite a distinguished track thanks
Yeah,
to
yeah,
her
for sure.
imprint on it.
Yes. So your tribute to Sammy Cahn was originally a stage show, wasn't it?
It was. It started as Sammy Cahn All the Way. We debuted it 25 years ago at the Firebird Cafe,
Okay.
directed by Barry Kleinbort. And yeah, that's, the response that that show got is what inspired us to make the album.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's,
So have you always had this passion for singing and performing?
yep. As soon as I knew that that was an option in life, yes, I've always loved the music. When I was 9, I saw my first Broadway show, which was The Happy Time, Kander and
Okay.
Ebb, and it had children my age in it. And my head exploded. I was just like, what? So my mom, to her credit, she saw that a community theater was doing The Music Man when I was 9, and she got me the cast album, and I learned the part of the little boy
Mhm.
Winthrop, and I got the part. And from that, I got talent agents, and a talent agent, Shirley Hamilton in Chicago, who, I had all my union cards when I was 10.
Nice.
So what was great about that, besides how exciting it was it showed my parents that they could nurture that,
Oh
that
yeah.
there was a possibility there. And to their credit, they were not stage parents, but they certainly made possible everything that needed to happen, whether
Mhm.
it was, driving me to auditions or jobs, or, my dad staying up all night so I could film things. One time on the ride home from an all-night thing, he got a speeding ticket. It's mortifying for me that, not only was he not getting sleep, but he got a ticket.
Take it as well. But they are very supportive for you.
Oops. They were very, very supportive. Oh, can I tell one fun story about my dad?
Yeah, please.
So I played the Artful Dodger in Oliver, and in order to do that, my dad played a townsperson so that he could drive me to all the rehearsals and whatever. And in the climactic scene, when Bill Sikes is trapped up on the top of the set for London Bridge, the constable pulls his gun and it didn't go off.
Oh.
So my dad, as the town person, goes bang. 2.5 hours of drama to one big punchline. And
Yes,
on the ride home, I was like, Dad, really? Really? You had to be the one to say bang? And he
of
goes, Well,
course.
the play wouldn't have ended if I didn't do that.
Exactly. The show must go on. And he made it go on.
He did.
Oh my God, I
But
love it. Love it.
he
So
was not going to miss his shot.
no, literally. So what do you enjoy the most about doing cabaret shows? You have been steeped in the cabaret world for so long. So why cabaret shows specifically for you?
Well, I've never been in a Broadway show, but from my friends who have, I am always surprised when they reach the point where it becomes a factory job, factory
Mhm.
work. And that never happens in cabaret.
Yeah.
It is absolutely defined by who's there and where we are. So no two nights are alike, and I love that. I love that the personality, the audience is my scene partner, and it's absolutely a one-off every single time.
Mhm.
And I'm very grateful to have Alex by my side for most of it. Sometimes I have John Weber, brilliant jazz virtuoso, with me, but we pick up, local musicians wherever we are. So there's always, new information coming from what they bring to it. Yeah, I find that is my favorite thing is the intimacy and the variety that
Mhm.
it always is.
Love it. Love it. Well, if Sammy was still alive today, what do you think he would be doing?
Getting laid.
Of course.
That that was his favorite pastime. Um,
As is for many.
um, yeah, those songwriters, man, they were a randy bunch. Um, he I'm sure he would be writing and helping us understand what the hell is happening in our planet.
Hmm.
He would find ways to make sense or nonsense out of he was a very wise soul in there, and I get a lot out of the language that he left us, but I'm sure he would find new language to explain
Hmm.
the emotional climate of the world today.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, but he would still be working.
So
You know,
we're
he used to say, well, when you asked him what comes first, the words of the music, he would say the phone call. So he would be waiting for jobs, and it would be very, very interesting. I'd love to hear, he wrote so many movie theme songs. I'd love to hear his theme song to Deadpool Wolverine. Well, he was once asked, could you write a title song for a film called A Woman Scorned? And he said, I could write a title song for a film called
yeah.
you know, and he wrote the title song to the film A Woman Scorned. So yeah, he probably would have come up with his own Barbie theme
Yeah,
for
pretty.
Barbie.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, how can one stay up to date with you?
The website, jeffharnar.com, Harnar, and on the contact, the calendar's there, but the contact thing comes right to me.
Okay.
So if I'm coming to your town, please write to me and let me know you'll be in the audience, because I really will find you after the show. It changes the whole DNA changes if I know somebody is there that I'm connected to.
Perfect.
Yeah, and also just write and let me know you heard the album, because I love that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
Well, I'm part of the Mabel Mercer Foundation's annual cabaret convention, which happens in October. Andrea Marcovici and I are curating and hosting the opening night, which is
Okay.
a tribute to Charles Strauss at age 95. And he's promised to be there, so we're hoping he will be there. So that is coming up, and I'm very excited about that. And I'll be traveling around doing some holiday shows too this December. So.
All right. Fantastic. Perfect.